Survey add-on showcase cloud transformation. Nice little topic. Quick one. Who knows the survey add-on already? A couple of you. Who uses the survey add-on? Cool. Okay. Who is into cloud transformation? Big question. Who runs at least one application in a public cloud? Who's planning to move? Who's planning to move applications to the public cloud in the next years? You for sure. Okay. Because I will use this showcase cloud transformation just a bit to motivate and then to guide you through the survey. I will motivate why cloud transformation is a nice use case. In the end, you have to capture data. And you have to capture data from many people in the organization, and you want to do this efficiently. Yeah. So in the end, I hope you know how you can leverage the survey add-on to do exactly this. Also that you understand what are the power features, which we call it. I will dive into this in a second. And then maybe also some advanced topics. We have APIs to head towards automation, which are not that known yet and which I'm happy to go into a bit. So cloud transformation is for me the starting point today, just to motivate. Why? Obviously, it's a topic for everyone. This shouldn't surprise you. But in the end, you have to understand a lot of things regarding your application. Yeah. So you have to understand: is my application suitable for the cloud? Yeah. Am I using? Who is using it? What resources are there? What's performance? What's from a legal perspective, etc., etc. In the end, this is only simplifying because you would have so many more choices. Yeah. For example, as Andre said, you would have to choose between Azure and AWS, where we said we go into Azure because of security. You would have to choose maybe if you want to leverage some advanced functionalities like Kubernetes, which is now available on Azure, or something like this. So this is just simplifying, and you know that you have to make extremely hard decisions for what you want to do with your applications. And in the end, you can capture some data automatically. Yeah? So we talk a lot about these days about ServiceNow or integration to other ITSM tools. So if you know, for example, what database you rely on currently, what exact version maybe, if you know, for example, as well, the number of incidents or who's responsible for the IT service as well, this might help. Ideally, you would have it already by automation, or it would fall a bit in the right-hand side because you have to understand it as well. We will talk a bit. I believe there's a session on technical standardization from Patrick, where he talks about Technopedia. Technopedia gives you vendor lifecycle. So in the end, informs you: are you running on technology which is no longer supported? Like, give me all applications which are running on an Oracle version which is no longer supported by Oracle. Also something that you might already take automatically or not. Then we talked as well about drawing information already from cloud providers if applications are already in cloud, or we have a session tomorrow on microservices. So this is one pillar. But the other pillar is you have different experts in your company. And we witnessed this ourselves, like all of you, we had the GDPR pain in our company, where obviously many people, even in a small company, had a stake. Yeah, so there was legal having a stake. There was the contracts and everything. There were technical things to consider, like deleting things. In the end, it was a sales topic as well, and so on and so on. Yeah, so we had to reach out to different experts, and also we had to govern what answers do we already have. Yeah. In the end, obviously, you want to evaluate the results, and this is what the survey is all about. As Andre announced this morning, the survey might be slightly misleading yet. So survey is really currently on data collection. We will enhance it. We will enhance it next year to have something like a voting survey as well, so that many people can give you answers for one fact sheet. Currently, you get one answer for one fact sheet by many experts. So how do you do this? There are 6 steps actually, and it shouldn't be that hard if you have seen LeanIX. So first of all, and this holds true not only for survey but as a general best practice, make sure to have your subscriptions maintained. Yeah, in the end, this is what we learn from onboarding customers, from helping them with data quality. Subscription is the first thing that you really have to understand. If you don't know who's responsible for applications or for other fact sheets, you're lost, because you cannot reach out to people to get more information. Yeah, so just a little film here how you do this via Excel, for example. In Q1, hopefully, this is with inline table editing even smoother as well. Yeah, so if you don't know this, and if this surprises you a bit, there's a recording from Christian's session on data import and export, which you might want to take a look in as well. Yeah, so I cannot repeat this often enough. Subscription is key for everything. Second step is you go to the administration, top right, and you select on top left surveys. Yeah? If this, for whatever reason, is not activated in your workspace, please contact either support or your CSM. I will come to licensing in the very end. You go to the survey designer, and by drag and drop, you select some elements. There's some standard elements here, so just a radio button or a checkbox and so on. And at the very bottom there's three powerful elements. One is a fact sheet segment. We will come to an example where you can write data directly to the fact sheet. The other things are you can either group questions or calculate fields. I will come to this. Yeah, maybe let it run one more time so that you can see the designer. You can all drag and drop, like you know, for example, from SurveyMonkey to have your first survey designed. Let's look at one example, and coming back to cloud transformation as an example. We have this available in our GitHub LeanIX Public as a sample survey. You can also import those. On the top right, you have a choice import. So what we prepared here is some example, hope it's not too fast, on questions that might be relevant if you want to access applications. Yeah, you want to have a legal perspective, which is right now here. You want to have a technology perspective and maybe even others. And what we show here is that we use a power feature which is called dependent questions. So you can, dependent on your answer, you can say, are further questions shown or not? Yeah, so you can guide your end user in the end. If he says, like in this example, the application is no longer hosted on premise, but the application is hosted already in the cloud, then maybe he can leave out all the other questions because it's not needed and just make sure the fact sheet is updated and you can move on. Yeah, so in the end, you can build even more powerful cascades here of if a user does this, then go there. If a user does that, then go there. For example, GDPR, it might be definitely a choice between an application has person-related data or not. And then you have different questions on this. Yeah, so what you see here in the survey designer, in the end, you go through the design, you select your section, you make it look beautiful, nice text, can even give help text on something. And to make sure that the logic is working, that the conditional fields are working, you have this little preview button on the top right, which allow you to understand that you designed everything quite nice. So there's a preview. Yeah. And then once you're confident with your design, you click Save and New on the top, Save and Next on the top right. Let's maybe wait for it. So Save and Next. Here's what makes a survey really, really powerful. In Save and Next, you design, or in this Run Survey dialog, you decide which user gets the survey. And the great thing is you don't have to enter any mail addresses, but you select fact sheets and you select subscriptions. And again, coming back, subscription is key for everything. So in this example, you say, for all applications in Australia, you want the responsible to answer. And once you selected this, you get a dialog which show you which applications are queried right now and also who will be reached out to. Yeah? This might be triggering that you need to that you need to update some subscriptions in order to make sure that everyone receives it. I'll come to this in a second in the more advanced part. We do have an option as well to let a survey run for longer. So say a really real-time use case is subscription change over time. Yeah? So Peter is no longer responsible for an application, but Frank is. Yeah? We have the option, and I will show you in a screenshot in a second, we have the option to say the survey is aware of this. Once Frank is going to be responsible, he gets the survey. Yeah? Or the other case, if an application is new in Australia and it hasn't got a mail initially, yeah, it will be sent a mail afterwards as well, because obviously data is changing. Yeah. You can select quite nicely how the user gets the survey via mail, so the mail text, and then you have another confirmation, like these recipients are receiving it, this fact sheet, and in the end, you do run. Yeah? What we saw here in the meanwhile is you also have a test mode to send out a mail to get exactly the user experience that your end users have. Yeah? From a user perspective, this is what I get. Yeah? So I got a mail in default from support@leanix.net. We can change it as well for you. Hey, please answer the survey. And I get a to-do in my dashboard. So it doesn't really matter whether I enter via mail or via to-do. It's the same. Yeah? This is the way it looks like when I answer the survey. So I see I have multiple fact sheets. Then I answer the question. And for this example, it writes directly into the fact sheet. Yeah, so this looks directly like the fact sheet. And if you enter the information, it's directly live. Yeah? It's in the audit trail. You can see it. It breaks the quality seal. It's just the first level change. Yeah? So as a user, you answer fact sheet by fact sheet your survey. If you feel that you don't have all the information because you need to draw things from other people, you have not only finalized, but you have saved as draft, so you can come back later on. Yeah? So if you feel you need to trigger somebody else to get the information. Yeah, let's just maybe complete this. Answer some questions here. And then finalize it. Next step is, as a user, I can now jump to the fact sheet. And it should be here. If it's not working, then forgive me. I will just guide you. I have the link to the fact sheet here on top. I can look into the fact sheet. There's an extra tab, survey, and I can see the results right there. And also can jump back to edit it right there. Yeah, so the user can keep track of what has he answered. Also, other people can see what has he answered. So this is the one perspective. The user sees the data directly at the fact sheet, either in the fact sheet fields, in those cases, or in the survey tab. The other perspective is you as a survey creator, because you want to analyze the results that you queried for. And this is quite easy. You go to the third tab in your survey and now see that Christina, in this case, has answered. Christina answered for those applications. So you see that 1 of 8 recipients for 5 of 17 fact sheets have answered. And you can say, now download the result. This leads you to an Excel. And you see in the Excel, you see the name of the user, you see the fact sheet ID, and you see all the other information, like the answers given by the user. Yeah? This allows you to either do your analysis, like if somebody did not answer, you see it directly in this column D, where it said, no, it was not answered yet. So you can run after these other users. Maybe in the midterm, there might be also an opportunity to readdress those users. It's currently not the case. Or you can transform this into Excel import, because you have the fact sheet ID directly there, to load it into your inventory as well, if this is useful. Yeah, so this is the basic functionality what we offer. The workflow from subscription, designing, running, answering, and then analyzing the results. Okay. Again, quickly about editions. This is available for everyone. There are certain features, I will come to this, which we price extra, that you have the full transparency. Survey pro tips. You have an option. You have an option to define, so this is a bit small here, but you have an option to define in your recipient dialog who should receive the survey. You can decide whether there should be active users, meaning people who have already logged into LeanIX, invited users, maybe not that relevant with SSO, but for non-SSO customers, where people use the invite functionality on top right, say, hey, please go into the tool, and also contacts. So this is a third option. The third option says, this is your first contact point with LeanIX. A contact in LeanIX is a subscription which you added. So, for example, a product or software owner which you added to an application who never used LeanIX. Those person will not receive a mail from us. Those person will not know that they have a LeanIX account. But you have the option to maintain this because you know he or she is responsible. So this is what we call a contact. And to contacts, we have the chance to say we reach out to them as their first LeanIX experience if we don't have fact sheet fields. Because if we have fact sheet fields, like business criticality, in the survey, we need to make sure that the users are authorized to use LeanIX. We need to make sure that he has proper permissions. But if it's just a text field or something, you can send it to contacts as well. Regarding member, regarding viewer, the same permission applies here as in normal fact sheet maintenance. So if you have a fact sheet segment and you happen to send out something to a viewer, he will see that he cannot edit it. So this might be something to take into account when designing your survey. The survey is no backdoor. So if you are a viewer, you are not allowed to maintain fact sheet content. Yeah, so you need to have member rights in any case.
But the free text is saved as well.
Yeah.
So independently from my status.
Yeah.
This is
This is why this is really important to understand. We have two different data storages. Yeah, we have our standard fact sheets where obviously permissions apply and everything, and then we have the survey storage where this is not directly linked to the fact sheet, and even a contact can edit it. Yeah, so this might be a thing or an option to keep in mind for two things. One, if you are in your rollout and want to get information, but you are not mature enough yet to let all people into LeanIX. You say, okay, you collect information like this, you maybe quickly inform, hey, there is a tool, you will get access at some point in time. But for now, please only give us the information. The second option is to make it really deliberately as your first point of contact, maybe design a nice mail text. So for example, if in the case of GDPR, you need to involve more stakeholders. Yeah, because you know the legal person is not your number one stakeholder and you want to add them. Yeah, so you can say you reach deliberately out to, for example, invited persons. Also with SSO, if you invite a person and then send out a survey, yeah, even with a fact sheet, he goes through SSO, he becomes an active user and he can edit things. Yeah, so the second option here, this active and invited users might also be an interesting option to say this is the first touch point for a new LeanIX user as a regular member. Okay. Second thing, I touched briefly about this before, is you can check for changes. And this is really, really powerful. Yeah? So you say here, for now, I trigger all applications that Max or Enrica are subscribed to, and I trigger the responsible. Yeah? But what happens if Max is subscribed to more application? Yeah? This mode here, this check for changes and send mails on updates, exactly addresses this use case. So once Max subscribes to a new fact sheet, he got a new mail. Hey, there's one more fact sheet. Yeah? And this runs as long as you, as a survey creator, decides the survey is open. So in theory, you can leave it open for months. You decide deliberately in the status dialog when you close a survey. Yeah? When you close a survey, it's also no longer possible for any survey recipients to change the answers. So then they are fixed like forever. Third thing on my power feature list is calculated fields. Yeah? We talked about analysis. So you want in the end to evaluate the result. And we have one powerful option directly baked in here as well, which is the calculated field. In the end, this is just a JavaScript snippet you give here. And this is an availability survey. So it says you rate the availability of a certain application. And you say, if the survey has many outages because somebody answered many outages before, you say the score is high or low, however you want to define it. And if you don't communicate well with your users, it even gets lower. Yeah, so in the end, this allows you to derive a score directly to do some of your math that you otherwise do with Excel. Yeah, you can evaluate all the results, whether it's checkbox or whether it's text field, in some JavaScript and push it directly into your result. We have the use case. Unfortunately, it's not implemented yet, but might be coming back to push it directly, for example, into metrics. So, for example, you want to have an availability score every month or some usability score every month for a certain application, and you want to pick this value directly and put it into a KPI in our metrics module to see over time how this evolves. Currently, all the options for this are available. So we don't have this out of the box, but we have an API. And the API allows for two things. One thing is you can trigger surveys automatically if you want to. So you can start a new survey run automatically every month. You can close a survey run. You can even say you want some advanced things to compose surveys, like you have question blocks that you use every time and that you don't want to update in every survey. So this is one thing. The other thing is the analysis, because endpoints like the results, either in JSON or the results in Excel, allow you to push things, either, as I said, maybe to metrics or to a Google Drive, to a Smartsheet, whatever, to say the analysis, what to do with the collected information, for example, in this cloud transformation, is an input for something else. If somebody else builds a spreadsheet out of this, you put the data directly, automatically there to take manual work out of the way. Yeah, so this is no rocket science. If you want, I can show this afterwards as well if somebody's interested, how to get started here. If you don't know this, we have this available for all our APIs. This is an interactive environment called Swagger, or Swagger UI precisely. What you do is you enter your API token on top right, which you can get from the workspace, and then you can directly trigger your calls here. Yeah, so you can start to play around with it again. If you're interested to learn more about the APIs, we have. So I'm available. We also have different colleagues there who can help you with this. Yeah. Quickly going through one thing that's obviously important for you. We have survey edition included in most of the edition. Yeah. If you're unsure whether it's included or not, contact your customer success manager. We distinguish, just that you know the names, between power features and standard features. Yeah, so standard features means you can run a survey, you can evaluate the Excel, so you have the entire workflow. Power features means you can update the fact sheets, yeah? You can group questions, you can use conditional queries, you can use calculated values, yeah, and compose your survey even more advanced like this. some just ideas for input for thoughts, what people do and what we've seen. So some assessment. Yeah. So please just update the information. Are the business capabilities, the business criticality still okay? Even some questions like, are you still the application owner? If not, and the text field, please give us the application owner. We've seen quite heavily to evaluate basis or enhance basis data quality. IT security or GDPR was another heavy topic, especially GDPR. We've seen quite often. There is on the link, which was there before, there is also a sample GDPR survey. And as Andre said, it might be available in the store quite soon as well as some content. Yeah, and project portfolio might be similar as application portfolio. So key takeaways from my side. We see more and more customers reaching their community with a survey efficiently. We see that it fits perfectly because I cannot repeat it often enough. Subscription is key for many, many things, and to reach out to people is really helpful. We see data collection really benefit from this one. And as I said, I gave you some tricks and tips on things that are already possible today, and also some spoilers on what might come as well.